Hello everyone and welcome back to Simlify. In today's video, as promised, we will be tackling a 3x3 challenge build. So as you can see there, this build is 3 squares by 3 squares. It is only one floor because I think that makes the challenge even harder, but I am going to be making a kind of loft area with the bed, so you will see that in a bit. What I really wanted to do with this build was to have a shower in it, because I have seen a couple of 3x3 builds quite a while ago, and I remember that neither of them that I saw had a shower in them, so I really wanted to do that, because otherwise, to get your Sims hygiene level up, if you're going to use this for gameplay, you're just going to have to get them to wash their hands a lot to get their hygiene up. So I really wanted to have a shower in, and keep watching the video to see if I managed to keep it there. So here you can see I'm just adding in a little kitchen area. We don't really have room for a separate bathroom, so it's probably not the most hygienic place to live in the world, but I have got a bit of separation there with the half walls. So now I'm just choosing a bed, and I decided in the end that I liked this bed that had the curved headboard and the curved kind of end to it, because it made the bed a bit longer, which meant that it went from wall to wall. So it kind of made this loft area, and I think now I'm just going to get the Sim. Yeah, I'm just going to get my Sim there on the lot to see if she can get in bed, which she can. Apparently Sims can jump really high, so that's fortunate. So now I'm just checking where exactly she needs to be free for the bed. So I put a counter in the middle square there, and she couldn't get back down. So then I figured out that to get onto the bed, she needed that middle square free. So I put the door there, and that made it, a good entranceway, and also she's able to get onto the bed. So I sometimes forget to put a sink in to build, so I needed to remember to do that this time, but this was really hard. I couldn't just put a sink on the counter, or in the counter, because the Sim needs a counter to cook. So I was putting this kind of freestanding sink in there, but the Sim also needed to be able to get into the fridge. So I really just had to kind of play around with this for quite a while, until I kind of just got the balance just right, and the Sim could wash their hands and use the fridge at the same time. So I just keep asking the Sim to do that, and there she goes again, not being able to use it. So just kind of needing every millimetre possible there, while also not having the counter stick through the sink. So there we go, she can use it now. She's jumped up onto her bed to eat her cereal, and then I just kind of wanted to change the colours, because I wanted the counter and the sink to blend a little bit more. So I ended up changing the counter to this plain white one, and then kept the sink white, and even though they don't blend completely, it does kind of look like that sink is a part of the counter, that kind of object, like it's got a sink coming off of it. For entertainment, decided to put this mounted wall TV on there, so the Sim can eat and watch TV from bed and sleep in bed, and remembering the bin, which sometimes I also forget, so it's kind of poetic that the bin and the sink are right next to each other to prove that I remembered to put them in. So I wanted this to be a fully functional house for the Sim, so we needed to be able to to build all our needs, and maybe even some skills, so your Sim could watch, the cooking channel. They can obviously cook there, and as they, earn more money, they can start adding to the home. This home actually ended up coming in slightly under budget for a new Sim who's just starting out on a lot with, they get the 20,000 simoleons at the start. So this house is perfect for one of those Sims, and funnily enough, it kind of resembles the kind of house I think I'm going to be able to afford living in London. Obviously it's not the most ideal home to live in, and I wouldn't want to live there myself, but living in London, it is insane how much a house costs and what you get for your money. And it's really hard, you can move away, you can move up north in the country, and you can get a lot more for your money, but then obviously your family isn't there, your friends aren't there, and it's a big leap, I think, to move so far away. So building this house did kind of make me chuckle a little bit, because I was thinking, yep, this this is the kind of thing I can afford. So here we go, just putting the windows in there to make sure we've got some light. I also tiled the kind of bathroom area because I thought that maybe that would make it slightly more hygienic and easy to clean, you know, and a little shower mat there. And then I just wanted to make sure that the sim had some kind of clutter around to make it a little bit more realistic. So I've put in some shelves there, and then I just put on some books. The sim can't actually obviously use these books to read because they are just from the clutter section of buy mode, but you know, as the sim starts to earn more money, then they can start building on the house and have a bookshelf and all those kind of things. Or if you want your sim to just live in this tiny house, then they can. It's fully functional, as you can see from my sim doing everything around the house. Oh, I did want to talk about this wallpaper actually that I've used here, that's kind of like a forest, like with the white and the trees on there. I really love that, and I wanted to use it on all walls in this build. Usually I would just use it as an accent wall, but I wanted to use it on all walls of this build to kind of bring the outside in. It's such an enclosed area, such a small space, not good for a sim who is claustrophobic. So I wanted to kind of bring the outside in and make it feel very fresh and outdoorsy whilst also being in this tiny environment. And then obviously wanted to keep it fairly simple on the outside, because then the more that I put in, the more the house was going to cost, and I was quite happy that, you know, it would come under budget for new sims. So just adding a roof there, I'm trying to work out which tiles I liked, because I really did like the sort of wood effect on the outside of the build, and I just couldn't find a roof that I really liked to go with it. But in the end I think I settled for, yeah, like this brown colour. And then I just needed, I'm just adjusting the roof there to see what it would look like, but it just kind of looked like it was wearing a massive hat, so I didn't have it really big. And then just adding a little bit extra on the outside to make it look, you know, not so bog standard and boxy and just boring. So we've got a little bit of leafage going on there, some ivy kind of climbing up the wall and some plants, just some terrain paint there. And then I needed a path to go up to the door, and I wanted to keep it, you know, kind of similar to next door, which if you've seen my previous video you will know is the 6x6 build. So I wanted it to kind of blend in just a little bit with the kind of pathway there, so that it's in keeping with the neighbourhood, which I think is important, you know, in real life in The Sims. Some of my saved games have the most ridiculous collection of different homes and aesthetics in each of the towns or villages or places or whatever you want to call them. So here you can see all of the screenshots. It was really hard to take screenshots actually in this home, because obviously it's really small and I wanted to have the walls up to show kind of the whole sort of effect, but I think you get the idea. Do let me know in the comments below what you want to see next. Don't forget to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, because then I know that you want more challenges. And don't forget to hit the little bell icon so you get a notification every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will chat to you in the next video. Bye!